I rebel against NaNoWriMo. It is too much like school. The pressure, the perfectionism, the constant goals, the everyday without a break. Hi friends, my name is Elizabeth Coyle, and I am working on the second draft of my young adult fantasy. It's a mystery set in a magic school. So let me get you caught up on what I was working on this weekend. This weekend, I was able to sit with my novel for a little bit, and I think I figured out a solution to one of those knowledge gaps that I had discovered in my last vlog, as well as the basic structure for that one character's backstory that I'll need to finish scene 12 and then bridge into scene 13. I haven't written the backstory into the novel yet, so I'm not positive it will work, but it's a start, at least. I also celebrated my birthday this weekend, and my brother made me a chocolate cream pie, which was phenomenal. He calls me Biff, so the cake says Happy Biff Day. It's very cute.
Yeah,
Let's not step on him.
He's a caterpillar.
We're not gonna hurt him.
Control your rogue baby feet.
Yeah.
Should really get back in the grass, bud.
Yeah.
All in all, I had an excellent time. We went to this cool antique mall, and it really got me thinking about how badly I want to bring magic into the world. Like, when people sit down to read my novel, I want it to feel like they've just stumbled upon some secret mystery in an old shop, and it's up to them to unravel a conspiracy, or solve a centuries-old puzzle, or even just believe that anything really is possible. You know, magic. I want to bring magic into people's lives. And that brings us to today. It is Tuesday, November 7th, I believe. It is voting day. I voted. I hope you voted. If you are of age and American. So, I have not yet started writing for today, but before we get back into scene 12, I thought I should tell you what my plans are for NaNoWriMo, since it is now November, and I have not mentioned it. Okay, see, here's the thing. It's not like I have some secret thoughts about how writing a book in 30 days produces trash books. I don't believe that at all. In fact, the book that I'm currently querying, I wrote the first draft in 3.5 weeks, which is less than 30 days. The first draft was 65,000 words. It just poured out of me in a state of desperation, and that's like my favorite book that I've ever written. So I don't think that at all. The thing for me with Nano is, I very much enjoy the camp nanos where you get to set your own goals. There's something about the rigid goal of 50,000 words being placed upon me in the set state month of November. I feel resistance. I don't know, I'm like a schoolgirl or something, and the teacher is telling me what to do, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I don't know, but NaNoWriMo reminds me too much of school. That's the basis. And so, like, if I give myself, like, I need to write, I don't even know how many it is, like 1,665 words or something per day. I don't even know what the breakdown is per day of words. But then it becomes all about the words, and I could be writing just like, the tree is green and tall, the tree is orange, the tree has brown bark. And I would feel good about it because I was meeting my word count goals. But I wouldn't actually be producing art, you know? I wouldn't be writing anything that was actually contributing to any kind of story. And then, so, you know, it becomes all about the words and not about, like, the storytelling. I don't know. I have issues with NaNoWriMo, and I've sat around and I've thought, why do I have such strong issues with NaNoWriMo? And I really think it's because it makes me think of school, and I feel rebellious. Also, as a recovering perfectionist, if I don't meet my goals, then I feel terrible about myself, and then I get all spiraled down into a writerly burnout where I'm not able to complete anything, even though, you know, maybe I produced, 20,000 words in a month, and that's huge, that's wonderful. But I don't ever let myself experience that celebration, because all I care about is the 50,000 words that I did not meet. You know, I have complicated feelings about NaNoWriMo. I enjoy the community. I enjoy the gung-ho feeling of going to write your book. I don't enjoy the rules. Right, let me just... So that was a spiraling discussion. Let me try to explain.
No, there is too much. Let me sum up.
So for me, not for everybody, but for me, NaNoWriMo, like school, takes something fun and makes it something that you have to do every day. There's pressure involved, and I guess I don't respond well to pressure. I didn't respond well to pressure when I was in school, and I definitely don't respond well to pressure now that I'm not in school anymore. I don't know, NaNoWriMo feels so much like school that I get so burnt out about writing that I stop writing for like 6 months, and that's not good. I rebel against NaNoWriMo. I have never actually successfully completed a NaNoWriMo. I do enjoy the camp nanos where you get to make your own goals. And like maybe 3 or 4 times in the past in my life, I have attempted NaNoWriMo, and I've gotten to like the 5th day, and then I start to hate myself in my writing and the fact that I'm being forced to do something by pressures of unknown origin. And then I stopped writing, literally for like, 3 or 4 months. I'm only hurting myself, I'm aware of that, but the pressure and schoolness of NaNoWriMo is not for me. It just doesn't work for me. It makes me hate writing, and that's never what you want. So, all of that is to say, I will not be participating in NaNoWriMo. Someday in the future, I will eat my words maybe and participate, but for now, this moment and in the recent past, NaNoWriMo has definitely not been for me. It is too much like school. The pressure, the perfectionism, the constant goals, the everyday without a break. It's just not for me. I can't do it. I don't like it. I can't do it. So, my goal for November is just be productive. Not a goal, just a hope. A dream. Realistically, I don't know how long it will take me to do Act 2. Partly because Act 1 took me 5 months, but there was a lot of stalling involved, and partly because I don't know how many scenes are in Act 2. I guess I could go through and count. Maybe I'll do that in the future. I probably should. But for now, my goal in this video is to finish Scene 12. Write the connective tissue to connect it to Scene 13. That's all my goal is. Is that too small of a goal? Is it boring? I don't know. But so far, these teeny tiny goals have been working for me. So, that's where we are. Now, I will begin my writing for the day. It's Scene 12.
With all these scenes is that while I'm writing, I can actively tell that what I'm writing is bad. And so there's this little voice in my head this is not good, this is not going to be able to stay in the story like this because it's not good. But I also know that I just have to keep going. I just have to finish the draft. The whole purpose of draft 2 is to flesh out the scenes and connect them. I'm not trying to make things good right now. So even though I hit these scenes and I can tell they're dragging and the pull is wrong and the events are wrong, dialogue is wrong, it feels wrong when I'm writing it, but all it needs to do right now is exist. This is draft 2, but it's also, technically, still kind of draft 1, because in my first draft, all I do is write the scenes, and I don't finish fleshing them out, and I don't connect them. So that's all I'm trying to do, flesh out the scenes and connect them. I'm not trying to make it good. I have to keep reminding myself of that because I get so stuck every time I realize that I'm just writing bad stuff and it doesn't feel right and it doesn't feel good, and then I get stuck and then I stop writing for weeks on end. I can't do that. I just have to keep telling myself, I'm not trying to make it good right now. All I'm trying to make it do is exist so I can have one whole, complete, readable draft. That is my only goal. It's difficult, but that is my only goal for right now for draft 2. Anyway, with that in mind, I just finished Scene 12. It's bad, but it's done. And now I will need to begin the connective tissue between Scenes 12 and Scene 13. I also recognize I really should go through, count how many scenes are in Act 2, but I'm putting that off for some reason. I'm putting it off. Not doing that yet.
So it is the next day, November 8th, I believe, Wednesday. Last night when I was working on writing the connective tissue between scenes 12 and 13, I kind of started feeling like maybe there's a new secret little scene blooming. I kind of thought the connective tissue was turning into a scene on its own, a scene that had not existed before. I kind of hope that doesn't happen. I mean, the first draft was, plenty short. It could handle, some expansion, but I don't know how I feel about it, so I got kind of stuck because I got kind of scared and I wasn't sure if I was adding connective tissue. Was I going off on a tangent? Was this something that really needed to be its own scene? I don't know. I'm gonna keep looking at it today, but as per usual, this video is supposed to go up tomorrow and I'm not sure I'll be able to come to a conclusion about what to do to solve this problem today. That is to be expected in my videos, apparently. But yeah, I'm still not sure. So I'm gonna take a look at it again and see. Is it connective tissue that's just gone on a little too long? Is it taking a tangent? Does it want to be its whole new scene? I don't know. But the little mess of words happening right now between scenes 12 and 13 is longer than all of the other connective tissue that I have been writing. And I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Does that mean like scene 13 shouldn't be happening yet because there needs to be some things happening in between? I don't know what it means. I couldn't tell what it meant last night, and I still don't know what it means. But yeah, that's what's happening last night. I mean, scene 12 is still done. It's bad, but it's done. The connective tissue between scene 12 and 13, it's existing. It's long. Who knows? Who knows at this point? Also, I did not tell you, but on Monday I started reading The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. I've read several books by Lucy Foley and I really like them. They are adult mysteries, and at least the ones that I have read, she usually writes them in such a way, skipping back and forth through time, so you don't know who the murder victim is until the very, very end. So you're reading to find out both who the murder victim is and who the killer is, which is very interesting, and I love the way she like builds depth to the relationships. Like she's like constantly revealing new little tidbits about the characters and the backstory and the mystery and the crimes and the thoughts and everything that the characters have. And it's like exceptionally well done. I love it. But this book, like I have found a lot of adult books, tends to lean very heavily towards the side of cynicism. And you know, I'm just not into it. It makes me a little bit sad. Like in these books, when everyone is a suspect, or even just like in literary novels, when there is no crime and nobody's a suspect, there's still nobody to root for, you know? Like in this book, anybody could be the victim and anybody could be the perpetrator, and I don't care who's who. I'm intrigued because it's very well written and it's very suspenseful, but it's not like I have like warm fuzzy feelings towards anybody. I'm not rooting for anybody because all of the people are just like, you know, sad and have no morals. They don't want anything. They're not going anywhere in their lives, you know? It's just kind of a downer of a book. Like it's almost like a downer of a situation that I find in a lot of adult novels. Which is why I'm so drawn to writing young adult novels, because I want to write stories where like the possibilities are still alive in the characters' hearts. You know, they still have hope and belief in the future. I need that in my own life, and I want to encounter that in the books that I read, and I tend to only encounter that in young adult fiction and like middle grade fiction. I don't see it as much in adult fiction. Usually, by the time people get to adults, apparently in novels, they're all sad and cynical and jaded, and very difficult to root for as people, you know? They don't have any hope for the future, the book ends, still no hope. And that's just sad. I don't know, I feel like maybe the world is sad enough as it is. I don't want to encounter all those sad people when I'm reading. I don't know, but like reading books like this, I like love it because the pacing and the character relationships and everything is so well done and like really intriguing, and it like motivates me to, you know, be that good in my own writing. But it also really reminds me about why I write YA, because in young adult novels, the characters still have hope. They still have beliefs that they want to stand behind, you know? I don't know, there's just something very, like, sad and spineless, almost, about the characters in adult fiction. Is that just me? I don't know, all the cynicism gets to me, and it brings me down. So, I do read both adult and young adult to help me improve my writing, but I tend to enjoy the young adult more just because the characters enjoy it more. I don't know. I mean, the characters in the adult novels, they have no joy, is the problem. They never find joy anywhere. They're not searching for joy. Joy doesn't happen to them in the story, and then the story ends and there's still no joy. And that's just difficult to read constantly. I don't know. And let me know if you all feel that way too. Or if you're encountering adult books with happy people. I don't know. I need some happy people. Or at least, I mean, not even happiness, but just like a hope, a glimmer of hope for the future. I need that in the books that I read. And I have not been finding that in adult fiction. Let me know if you have, because I would be curious.
Alright, so at the moment, I have given up trying to figure out what to do with that little half scene that has grown between scenes 12 and 13. I'm not sure what's happening there, so I'm taking a break from that, but I did decide to go through and count how many scenes approximately are in Act 2, and the number I have come up with, there's about, not including scene 13, there's about 25 more scenes until the start of the big finale, which is what I was considering Act 2. The issue is, I like don't even want to be saying this out loud, because while I was going through and counting those scenes, I realized that several of those scenes are going to need to be completely deleted and rethought, and like somewhere in the midpoint of the novel I'm gonna have to like restructure everything, because there were several scenes where the characters were just like, you know, bopping around, and they would come across the needed information, and it would just be like, how convenient, this is what we need right now, and that can't stand. So at the moment there are approximately 25 scenes in this middle section of the book before the beginning of the big finale. Who knows what that is going to turn into, because once I start encountering these scenes around the midpoint where, I mean, they're just like pathetically paced, like just such bad structuring, I'm gonna have to totally restructure and like maybe even like re-outline the middle. So that will be interesting and potentially very time consuming. We shall see. You know, Act 1 took me 5 months and I didn't really have to do any restructuring, so there were approximately 12 scenes that I worked through in Act 1. Scene 13 is, I'm not sure which act that one is in. And then there's approximately 25 scenes that I have to go until the beginning of the big finale. Hopefully it doesn't take me, you know, twice as long as it took me for Act 1, because that'll be like a year from now. I'm a little bit overwhelmed, but just have to keep moving forward. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. Keep moving forward.